Pop wants Wemby to play a perimeter game. Good move or bad move?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Cans 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back and happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great hump day and just overall just having a great day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Go to Game Time right now. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Do that right now. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at tonight's game, Spurs-Rockets. Then react to Popovich and this direction that they want Wemby to play facing the basket versus back to the basket. Good move or bad move? But sometimes there are things that are bigger than basketball. Life happens. We want to give you a quick update. But before we do that, just want to let y'all know we're going to be having our guest, Rudy Campos. He's going to be joining us in just a few seconds. And again, apologize for no video today due to some work-related schedule. Rudy and I just could not get it together for a video show. But nevertheless, we're here, all things silver and black. So just a quick update. This is via ESPN Shams Charania. He reported yesterday that Popovich suffered a quote-unquote serious health issue. He also said, quote, that it was a concern for the Spurs. And then he just reiterated that there is no timetable for when Popovich will be coming back. Mitch Johnson, again, is the interim head coach indefinitely until Popovich does make his way back to the sidelines. So, again, things are bigger than basketball. So just keep your thoughts with Popovich during this situation. Hopefully it's much to do about nothing, that it's just nothing after all, common cold or what have you. I'd rather hear that. But just to be on the safe side, everybody, keep Popovich in your thoughts. That is the latest on the Popovich front. Again, according to ESPN Charania, just to make it very clear, too, the Spurs have not released, as of this recording, any official word on the situation with Coach Pop. But Coach Pop, if you're listening, hang in there, get better. Hope to see you back on the sidelines, guiding the team to W's. All right, let's go and bring in our guest. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Rudy, welcome back to Locked On Spurs.
I appreciate it, Jeff. And again, I apologize to everybody about the video part. My Debbie Downer segment just keeps continuing now with no video. So I apologize to the fans.
You're going to get more pushback, some more smoke from fans, like they did a couple days ago. Well, again, make sure to check out Sweep the League on YouTube. Rudy's going to be bragging about that in just a few minutes. But Rudy, I know you're short on time, so let's go ahead and dive right into this. So I'm pretty sure you heard, I think a lot of Spurs fans heard recently, Chris Paul speaking after a game and saying to everybody that Popovich wants Wemby to play facing the basket versus back to the basket. And, Chris Paul did put a disclaimer there saying, hey, we're going to catch him once in a while from back to the basket. But nevertheless, the point is to get him in situations where he's facing the basket, a perimeter kind of player. Wemby did acknowledge it. He did confirm it. He said, yeah, he goes, that's something we're just trying to work out. So here is a 7'5", wherever you list him at. He's just tall, with a massive wingspan that they want him facing the basket. Rudy, let me kick this off, and I'll give you some time to say your piece. But I don't know about this. I get it that maybe he has the skill set to be a perimeter player. It's not uncommon. Kevin Durant, perimeter player. Giannis, he starts off in the perimeter, but he attacks. This is not uncommon for bigs to do this. But when I see a 7'3", 7'4", generational player that towers over everybody, towers the competition, I would rather have him taking a high percentage shot versus a low percentage shot at the perimeter. I think if this is going to be the experiment of the year, like last year with experimenting with Sohan at the point guard spot, if this year is experimenting with Wemby away from the basket, facing the basket, I might not be too keen on that. I'd rather have my giant Goliath in the paint wrecking havoc. Your thoughts, Rudy?
My first thought is, did I rub off on you when I said I wanted Wemby in the paint and nowhere else but the paint in
I think you
past
did.
weeks? You know, I'm gonna kind of go on both sides of the spectrum here, because he'll be more effective with a high percentage shot in the paint, and that means a lot more back to the basket, a lot more posting. But essentially, you can consider front facing as in the post. And similar to what Timmy did, when Timmy would get the ball in the post, he would turn around, he would face his opponent and face the basket. Now, it doesn't mean he was taking jumpers, but he was using his skill to get to the basket. So that could be something we're looking at. I think a lot of fans might be speculating that it's a lot of pick and roll on the perimeter. We're seeing him jack up like 7, 8, 9 threes a game, and it's kind of getting frustrating. That's not his game, and it shouldn't be his game. So it's kind of a big umbrella type, Jeff. Do we consider it front facing the basket in the post, or is it more pick and roll? We don't really know quite yet, but I'll be honest, if it's anywhere elbow linked in, I would say, yeah, that would be good to be front facing. He can get to the basket. He does have some ball skills, ball handling skills to where he can get to the basket easily. He's got the length, obviously. So he can be a pretty big menace there, but it's the the pick and roll where he's popping out to the three or anything like that. That takes a lot away, and not only lowers the percentage rate shooting wise, but the turnover rate goes up a lot. The percentage of more turnovers for him when he's handling the ball out there, it goes up dramatically. As you've seen in the first 7 games, now going on 8 games, they're using a lot of undersized defenders on him, and it's really giving him havoc outside of the paint.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. Am I rubbing off on you now? Because you seem to be going away from your thing about, hey, put him in the paint. It's easy. Look, and I get it. He has an incredible skill set. He put him in the paint. Sure, he could dominate. Put him away from the paint. Sure, he can cross you. I can't believe I'm saying a 7'4" guy can cross up people, but he can do it. My problem is that I worry if that becomes, kind of, his, I don't want to say his go-to, but more like you're not just limited to just playing the perimeter, Wemby. You can do some damage in the paint. We've seen it. We know he can. We know he can attack the basket. We know he's a menace on the defensive end. But if they want him front-facing, fine. Because the last time I saw a front-facing big in San Antonio colors was David Robinson. David Robinson really played facing the basket. But the difference is Robinson had a very reliable jump shot, very reliable mid-range game. Wemby doesn't have that. I'm not ready for that to happen for Wemby until he gets reliable, if just a mid-range shot. What about this? I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you agree or disagree that he's taking way too many threes?
I totally agree. He's taking way too many threes. It's so weird, this era of NBA basketball. You see Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, even the Joker. I mean, they're attempting threes, they're shooting threes, but they're actually making their threes. They have a better shooting percentage, three-point range. We haven't seen Wemby hit at the rate of one of those guys, and it gets very bothersome and very tiresome seeing him continue to shoot the threes. You're looking at possibilities of the league, just like the Clippers. I mean, he shot, I think, 9 threes, made 2 of them. Yeah. If you reverse that and get him more inside in the paint, out of those 9 shots, he's probably going to make 6 of them. So there's an additional maybe 8, 10 points there in the paint right there. So I'm one that definitely says keep him away from the 3-point line. There's no reason why he needs to be shooting from out there at all. 1 or 2 a game, I'm okay with that. But if it's anywhere above 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9 attempts in 3-point range, there is something totally wrong with that picture.
Yeah, right now he's shooting 42% from the field. Yeah, in my opinion, that should be higher because he could dominate in the paint. Especially at close range to the rim. But Rudy, 22% from the 3 line so far through 7 games played. Unacceptable. You mentioned, his shot recently, 2 for 9 from the Clippers, 1 for 7 against Minnesota. It wasn't a win. 0 for 3 versus OKC in that big loss to start the season against Houston. I'm sorry, in that Houston, one of the Houston games, that is, I'm sorry. That was a 1 for 5 3-point outing. Not good. And here's the thing. It tends to be, he tends to rely on it. Does that make sense to you? It looks like he's just, we see him taking half court shots.
Mm-hmm.
Again, until Wemby shows me, the fans, that, hey, I can take these shots and make them at a pretty good clip. I'm not asking him to be Steph Curry or shoot, a perfect game. But when it becomes more often than not that he will make a 3-point shot, or more often than not, he has a mid-range game, now we're talking, but we're not even there yet. But Rudy, you think this is a byproduct maybe of the Euro style? Because, or just another sign that today's NBA is just bad. Everybody wants to take threes. It's basically a 3-point shooting contest.
Well, it's positionless basketball in the NBA, is what they say. So you can be a 7'3" guy and you want to attempt as many 3-pointers as possible because everybody's shooting the rock now. So you may as well allow everybody to shoot the rock. The big man is not what it used to be. And it's so weird because in this day of basketball, the big man's made a comeback. I mean, you've got Joker, you've got Embiid, now you've got Wemby. You've got a lot of big men, Karl Anthony Towns, who consider himself the best 3-point shooter, for a big man of all time. Well, I mean, I guess you can call yourself that. Obviously, you won a couple of 3-point contests already. That's the thing. These guys got to understand that it's better to take a high percentage shot than it is to keep jacking up these threes. Now, if you're making them at a great rate, like a Kevin Durant who can shoot a 3 and 7-footer, great. I understand that. Durant's not going to be in the paint a whole lot more because that's not his game. He's a fit for today's NBA as a big man, as a shooter, but Wemby's not. Wemby doesn't have a consistent 3-point shot. It's like he's jacking them up. And what's sad is it seems like it's okay by the entire coaching staff. I've never understood that. You say shooters shoot, just keep shooting. Eventually they're going to fall. Wemby's not a shooter.
Exactly.
I mean, he's not a guard. So you can't take that same approach with him. He's 7'3". He's unstoppable in the paint, and he's unstoppable, probably around that mid-range game right now where you can develop that jump shot easier. But key in on the defenses, Jeff. You've seen already in the small sample size we've had in year 2, a lot of the teams are putting smaller guys on him, and those smaller guys are still able to body him outside of the paint and keep him out of the paint. So something's got to change. He's got to have to stay in the paint a whole lot more, run pick and rolls with some other player, put him in better positions like that. Something's got to give, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Something's got to give. Working with a shooting coach, I think, is number one for him. And we're going to get into some of the splits right now as far as his shooting percentage. You're going to see the big time difference between, near the paint and then away on the perimeter. And if him facing the basket will work better for him. But before we do that, hey, I want to talk to you about Hims. Guys, ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? It's time to stop worrying about your performance and get Hims so you can feel confident knowing you can stay hard and get hard whenever you're in the mood. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits. Hims provides access to a range of doctors' trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints, Viagra and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. Just answer some questions on their site, and the medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. No insurance is needed. One low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compound products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions requiring an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Hey, I want to talk to you about Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have it all. Great menu, cold drinks, hot drinks, coffee, the signature drink, Mudslinger, iced lattes. Pick something you're craving, they'll have it. Check out the menu. We're a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs and a proud community member, serving San Antonio the best coffee in the city. Go there right now, open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have the Lightning Bolt series, which includes the Alien, which is a drink made in honor of Victor Wembanyama. Got to try it. Speaking of which, hey, they have these drinks, like I was mentioned right now, the Lightning Bolt series. They're going to be containing Lotus Energy. That's 7 power plant extracts. That gives them flexibility to create new drinks. But if you want Red Bull, you just tell them and they'll put it in there. But the default will be Lotus Energy. Go there right now, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. They even got mini donuts. Best spot in the city to get yourself some coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio. Follow them on social media at Muslinger SATX. Go there right now because life is too short for bland coffee.
This is Emilio Rivera, El Padrino for the Mayans MC. You are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Rudy Campos. Make sure to follow him on X at Sweep the League. And also let him know, too, when you do follow him, how great of a shooter he is, that he could probably outshoot Wemby. Heard you got a mean shooting stroke, man.
Yeah. I can shoot a good 2 or 3 in a row, then miss about 23 in a row. So.
Again, everybody follow him on X at Sweep the League. And again, we apologize for no video today. Unfortunately, due to some work scheduling conflicts, Rudy and I just could not do that. But we'll be back with a video show tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at some of the numbers now. The splitting from the shot distance, how Wemby fares. So at the rim, this is where his bread and butter is. 24 for 29 so far to start the season for 83% field goal percentage. That's no doubt he is dominant in that area. Yay, Wemby. But then we start moving further away. So from 3 to 10 feet, 27%. Rudy, he's taken 11 shots as of this recording. He's made 3. Then we go from 10 to 16 feet. Only taken 7 shots, made 5, so maybe we need a larger sample size, but he's at 71 for that, 71%. Now, 16 feet to the three-point line, so just right underneath it, 4 for 14 for 28%, and as mentioned earlier, three-point line, he's taken 50 shots, made 11 for 22%. Not good. You could just see the disparity there. Now, the only thing where I think that maybe Wemby facing the basket could help is that his skill set. If he's going to attack the basket, then go for it. Attack. The only thing worried about is turnovers because he has a high dribble. He's going to have to keep it low. Smaller guys can pickpocket him. Rudy, when you heard those numbers, are you shocked? Are you surprised? Or do you think maybe the plan here, or what do you think the plan is for him facing the basket? Do they want to make it another Robinson? Robinson was a skilled big man. Attacking the basket. He was speedy for his time, taking on the behemoths like Shaq and Ewing. Maybe this is kind of the same thing here. Wemby has a skill set to attack the basket from the perimeter.
But the question is, does he attack the basket? I mean, when he's on the perimeter, he tends to do a lot of step backs. He tries to step back from the 3, take that 3-point shot. It's different if he's getting the ball on the perimeter and he's going straight to the basket, similar to like a Giannis or similar, to a lot of these other big men from the past where they're trying to dribble to get to the basket, but yet not using the entire shot clock to get to the basket. So it makes you wonder at a guy that his height and his size at 7'3", question this now. This might be a question for the fans out there. Do you feel he even has a post game? I don't know. I mean, you might be handcuffed to think, okay, well, he's a perimeter type of player. Does he have a post game? We haven't really seen him post move. We haven't seen him do a fadeaway jump shot similar to, a David Robinson or a Patrick Ewing or even a LaMarcus Aldridge. Does he have that as his arsenal? Does he have a baby hook like, Shaquille O'Neal and Akeem Olajuwon did, and those guys, similar to Kareem.
Robinson's mid-range game.
Or even Robinson, where he had that quick drop step. He would get in the post and spin, and bang, he was there at the basket all alone, dunking the basketball. Does he have a post game? That might be another reason why they're going to concentrate on him facing the basket to get. But if you're going to face the basket, you've got to actually use your ball handling to get to the rim, and that's the problem I see. I don't know if it's going to be if it's a good thing. If you're going to make him a jump shooting center, it's going to be a very, very, very tough few seasons under for the coaching staff and even for Spurs fans because shooting is not his game right now.
Yeah, you're talking about a go-to move. One go-to move I would love for him to do is a hook shot. I think if I'm forcing him to watch Kareem videotapes all day and calling up Kareem saying, "Hey, yo, help me out here." Rudy, would you be shocked to know that he's only taken one hook shot so far this season? One, and he's missed it.
I'm pretty shocked considering that should
Yeah,
probably be one of his go-to moves easily.
yeah, yeah. Jump shots, he's taken 676 of them, made 22 for 28%. And but again, the dunk, just being around the paint, he's attempted 20 dunks already. He's made 16. So
Mhm.
yeah, this is a situation where look, I get it. I get why Pop, if and like I said, Chris Paul mentioned it, and Wemby acknowledged it, making him face up to the basket. Maybe that's just his skill set. We all talk about him being this, dominant center. What if he's just really a swing guy in a big man's body, and he's just comfortable that way? What if this is the way they're going to build the team around Wemby moving forward? Maybe bring in, for lack of a better term, a true center. What do you think, Rudy?
Uh, if they're gonna keep doing it like this, then they need a true center. They need someone that can be in the paint, who's gonna be able to rebound, get some offensive rebounds if he's gonna be taking jump shots. So you're probably looking at a twin tower type, but I mean, what true center is out there? You had one in Jakob Poeltl that you could have easily kept, and that would have made a whole lot more sense. But I mean, if there's really a true center you're looking out there, there's not very many. You can probably go after maybe a Jared Allen, possibly. Outside of that, golly, it's tough. You're going to need someone that's going to be able to play in the paint. That's for sure. Because right now, if they're going to keep him as a perimeter type of player, it's not going to work. And I hate to be, negative about it, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. You just shared the numbers with everybody. Shooting percentage is terrible. He's really good around the paint when it's a dunk, a layup, or something. So if the numbers are showing that, why don't you go towards his strength, and that is in the paint, being dominant around that little area where scoring increases your percentage instead of relying on the outside jump shot. Running pick and rolls with Wemby is awesome because he can shoot over anybody. That's the only benefit. The problem is he doesn't knock them down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is Wimby's team. It is, and if this is what he feels comfortable with, they're going to try to make him happy. Remember what he said on draft night and leading up to the draft? Don't pigeonhole me. Don't pigeonhole me. I'm not a center. I'm not just a center. That could be a situation here. But look, Popovich, the rest of the coaching staff, like they're getting paid the big bucks to, do professionally. We just talk here. So if they see something there, fine. Like maybe it just helps Wemby run the pick and roll better. Start off on the top of the key with Chris Paul or whoever the guard is of the future, and let's rock and roll. There's so many other ways that it can be positive to this. But as of now, until he does improve his jump shot, 3-shot, mid-range game, just something, until that day happens, I like to see him perhaps being closer to the rim. Now, if he doesn't want to play it back to the basket, that's fine. Just position yourself closer to the rim. How's that? Get closer to the rim, or maybe you can just attack from that point, or get the Robinson mid-range game going.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to play, you can play back to basket. You can play front to the basket, but get closer to the rim. That way, instead of you trying to take 10 dribbles to get to the basket, you're taking 4 or 5 to get to the basket.
Yeah,
and the jump shot is actually a lot easier to hit closer to the rim than it is from that side of the perimeter.
Absolutely, it is. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Make sure to follow him on X at Sweep the League. See, he makes it so easy for you. Just say Sweep the League on X. Follow him. Do that right now. Know what else makes it easy for you is Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish to thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. This is where Built Rewards comes in. Look, Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch Built points roll in. Use the points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked as the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to join built.com/LockedOnNBA. That's JOINBILT.com/LockedOnNBA. Make sure you use our URL so they know that we sent you. That's joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA to start earning points with your rent payments today. Also want to talk about GameTime.co. You want to go there right now. They got curated deals that makes it easier to find the best price on great seats. They have super deals, seats from views before you buy, the low price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. Game Time just pretty much gives you all the tickets for all events, concerts, shows, not just sports. And they have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Take out the fluff. Get those incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time Picks. By the way, they have this Game Time Picks, as I mentioned. It's just a curation that makes it easier to save more on sports, concert, theater, comedy tickets, and the lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Rudy Campos, the only man to outshoot Wemby from three line. That's what the streets are saying, Rudy. That's what the streets are saying.
I shot 3 attempts from 3-point range. I made all 3, so I have a better percentage than he does already.
All right. Well, it's time for us to look at tonight's game, Spurs-Rockets. Is it just pretty much Spurs-Rockets for the rest of the season? I mean, how many times are they going to meet to start the season? This is third time already. But it is that rivalry. It is heated. You know, some hands got mixed up a bit during the first 2 games in San Antonio. Dylan Brooks talking the smack. You got Sohan getting up on there. I mean, there's rivalry renewed. San Antonio and Houston. I love it, Rudy. I don't know about you. You love this rivalry, don't you?
Yeah, it takes me back to the days of Vernon Maxwell and Robert Horry, Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, what was it? The I-10 rivalry is what it is between Houston and San Antonio. Brings up a lot of memories.
Do you remember back in the day when the Spurs played in the Dome, the Alamo Dome, fights would break out between fans and Rockets and Spurs fans? I remember those days.
I vaguely remember, but I know they happened.
There was a lot. We're old, everybody, but there were fans literally fighting in the Alamo Dome when the Rockets would come to town. Because remember, at that time, the Rockets would bus in their fans to the Dome.
Yeah.
And it got rowdy, but nevertheless, hopefully no sparks would fly. But the only sparks we want to fly tonight are Spurs wins and buckets being made. All right, let's go look at some numbers before we preview it. Spurs Rockets again. Spurs are 3-4. Rockets are 4-3. The Spurs and Rockets are 1-1 this season. And quick injury report. As y'all know, Popovich will not be on the sidelines. Trey Jones and Devin Vassell will not be suiting up as well. Unknown as it's recording if Jeremy Sohan will play because he did suffer a thumb injury in the loss versus the Clippers. All right. The first thing for me, Rudy, is simply this. Is expect a close game. Each of the past 3 games between the Spurs and Rockets have been decided by 5 points or fewer. So this is going to go down to the wire if history repeats itself. But if there's one thing the Spurs can do to get the edge over Houston is defense. You got to credit San Antonio, Rudy. This Spurs defense has been pretty good in the last few games.
They've been actually pretty dang good on the defensive side. I know the last game they had with the Clippers, it kind of collapsed, but I mean, overall, the Spurs' defensive intensity has really been there. I mean, Wemby ended the last game with 9 blocks. You saw the intensity just pick up, and it picks up each and every game, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. But you don't want to overextend yourself on the defensive side to where it's a struggle to score the ball on the offensive side. You still got to score points to win. But defensively wise, you're seeing a really good effort from the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Dylan Brooks is probably going to guard Wemby, and this is where I think Wemby could shine if he could just position himself underneath the basket with Brooks defending him. So we'll see if the Spurs game plan for that. What about this, Rudy? With the Spurs be able to showing signs of life on the offensive end, the defensive end. Offensively, they tend to sputter there. Now, there was some signs of help in the last game versus the Clippers. Julian Champagnie was knocking down his threes. Wemby was being Wemby. You seen, and by the way, you're seeing Chris Paul. I mean, have you looked at his numbers in the last few games? Almost a double-double now. Double-digit scoring, double-digit assists. So you're getting contributions, but you need more. I need to see out of Keldon Johnson tonight, out of Harrison Barnes tonight. They're going to need help because offensively, they haven't really been cutting it, have they?
No, and that's what we were saying a little while ago is that, could it be that they're overextending themselves on the defensive side of the ball where the offense is kind of struggling and sputtering? Quite possibly, but you need more than just a couple of guys to step up. Wemby may get his 20, 24. On the evening, you may have another guy chip in about 15, 17. But it's going to be those other guys that contribute some key baskets. You can't have Champagnie come up big while Keldon is struggling. You kind of just flip-flopping. You expect a big game out of Keldon. You get a small one out of Julian. It's got to be consistent throughout the entire roster. Everybody's got to be able to contribute on the offensive side of the ball. But more than anything, it's, it comes down to shooting is what it's going to come down to. If they're knocking down their shots, it's going to open up a lot more in the paint for Wemby. So they got to consistently shoot the ball. They got to be consistent on the perimeter, but you got to get better performances out of majority of the guys, not just a couple.
Yeah, it's going to probably be coming down to whoever scores the most, I think, because the Spurs heading into tonight's contest are third in opponent points per game and among the NBA, and the NBA at 105.9, while the Rockets are fifth in the NBA at 107.7. So it could be a defensive slugfest here. But again, you're looking at just, good Lord, you can't even look at the 3-point field goal percentage because both teams rank at the near bottom. The Rockets are 26 in the NBA at 32% from the 3 line, while the Spurs are 28th at 31. Where it might come down to? Might come down just to playing a complete basketball game. Throw out the X's and O's, throw out the stats, throw out opponent rebounding percentage and free throw it all out. This Spurs team has to play 4 quarters of basketball because, in my opinion, they had no business losing that game versus the Clippers. They came out gangbusters and just smacked up the Clippers. And then they took off their foot off the gas pedal. Rudy, what if it just simply comes down to this? Just play 48 minutes, Spurs.
Yeah, it's funny because when Chris Paul was added, a lot of people, including myself, I will admit, they said, well, there's going to be some of those games where the Spurs lost at the end of the game because of turnovers and the point guard, situation was really rough. You had people turn the ball over. Kind of saw it with the Clippers. You saw the big collapse. Is that something that's going to happen? I was hoping not, but I don't want to sound the alarm and the panic button hit it just yet. But it's so similar to past Spurs games, especially from last year where you saw a collapse. But you're right, 48 minutes worth of basketball has to be played. If there's stuff going wrong, also put it on, Mitch Johnson. I know he's the interim coach now, but you've got to be key on timeouts. When you see runs going on, you've got to be able to control the guys, calm the guys down.
Yeah,
could be a coaching type thing as well. I mean, we know Mitch is a great coach, but it's a different league when you're coaching, head coach of an NBA team. So you got to be able to relax the guys, get them calm, get them cool, get them, going. But yeah, 48 minutes, Jeff, it's very key, especially against Houston. You don't want to start losing games at the end of regulation where you're supposed to win them. And it's the NBA, man. Anything can happen within 2 minutes. It could happen within 20 minutes.
Yeah. Look, play 4 quarters of basketball, Spurs, you should be okay. But if you're going to play 4 quarters of basketball, make sure to take care of the ball. I bring that up because this is where the Spurs might see a W slip through their hands. The Spurs average about 16 turnovers per game. That's good for 23rd in the league. So that's not good. While the Rockets value the ball, they're second in the NBA, only turn the ball over 11 times a game. So you can't give them those second chance opportunities at all. Turning the ball over, taking care of the ball might be very key versus Houston tonight. Oh, and by the way, everybody, the Spurs have lost 3 in a row in Houston. So this history is not on the Spurs side tonight. There you have it. A quick Spurs Rockets preview right here on Locked On Spurs. Rudy, we know we got to let you go soon. Tell us about Sweep. What's going on?
Yeah, so Sweep comes to you Monday through Friday, but we've been taking Mondays off, so really Tuesday through Friday at 9 p.m. Just a quick thing, we added another podcast, basically. It's called
Congratulations.
Sweep Unplugged. Thank you. It's called Sweep Unplugged, and what we do is basically get you the entertainment side. Small interviews with people in the sports world, entertainment world, lifestyle world, just to give you another branch of Sweep the League to, hey, get your interest in, because we know sports can't be 24/7. This is an ESPN. It's Sweep the League. So we're trying to bring you all aspects of life in general, and take a look at it. Sweep the League. Go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. FYI, if people listen to Locked On Spurs and Sweep the League, we send out a bunch of messages, so be sure to answer them, because a lot of you are leaving prizes out there. We're talking autographs and stuff. So
hint, everybody.
Check your messages, and be sure to, when you leave comments on the stream and we respond to you, we're usually saying, hey, send us an email because you want something. So take a look, guys. Read your comments.
See, you got to follow Rudy on X and go to Sweep the League on YouTube at Sweep the League. Again, Rudy, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to hop on here on Locked On Spurs. And yeah, everybody else, subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Ken's 5 Plus app. You know where to go. Subscribe to us right now. Everybody else, or just everybody listening, we have a newsletter. It's in the description below. Go subscribe to it right now. Locked On Spurs newsletter. Very informative, little addition, kind of a companion piece to the podcast here. And while you're at it, subscribe to all the newsletters at the Locked On NBA network, from the Celtics, to the Bulls, to the Rockets. Yes, the Rockets. Go ahead and subscribe to all of the newsletters. And we'll be back tomorrow covering all things silver and black. So for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs.